بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our beloved sisters, elders and students here at Ulum Academy UK. I thank everyone for attending this wonderful webinar that we have in place. Alhamdulillah. I know we're all eager to get started, so I won't prolong the introduction for too long. Alhamdulillah, we're here for the event, parenting and nurturing children, raising well-nurtured, faith-grounded Muslim children in our communities. And Alhamdulillah, we are blessed to have amongst us Dr. Javed Akhter, who is really well known in the community. He doesn't need a lengthy introduction, but just to give a little bit of background to him, so you all know who he is, mashallah, tabarakallah. Dr. Javed is a consultant cardiologist, so he's a doctor by profession. He is an author on parenting Muslim children in the digital age. He recently launched his work a couple of months back, and he has been lecturing and educating the community on Islamic topics, tafsir, and Islamic sciences for many decades. Walillahi alhamd. So we are really blessed and honored to have him amongst us. So without any further ado, I will invite Dr. Javed to take over the show, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Javed.
You have to, oh, well, okay. It has started working.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. In the morning when I got up, I realized my voice has become hoarse.
Oh,
So
subhanAllah.
very uncomfortable.
May Allah grant you shifa. Jazakallah khair for joining us despite the illness.
I hope that you have to bear with me, but I hope I would be able to communicate, inshallah. Should I start?
Yes, bismillah.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wassalat wassalam ala rasulihil kareem. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد واعلموا أنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة وأن الله عنده أجر عظيم وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم وما يتبع أكثرهم إلا ظنا إن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا إن الله عليم بما يفعلون. Dear brothers and sisters, I understand it is exclusively for the sisters, for the daughters, this particular program. That's the way I've been informed. And I'm thrilled because they are the really main targets on this topic. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كلكم راع وكلكم عن رعيته مسؤول. كلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Each one of you is a shepherd and will be asked about the flock. This is a very short sort of part of the hadith. Hadith itself is quite big, and it is in both Bukhari and Muslim. It goes on to give details that how a man is a shepherd and he's responsible. He will be asked about his flock. Imam is a shepherd of his muqtadi, of his followers. An imam will be asked about the people who are under him. Similarly, a woman will be asked about the household and the children, as she is a shepherdess and she would be asked about her flock, and that includes the children. So although the responsibility is on both parents for the children, upbringing, training, education, and the rest of it, but the main responsibility lies on the woman. Now, before I start on the topic itself, I must explain as to why it has gained so much importance now as compared to in the past. Because in the past, the children used to grow up in the family, and there was no stress on this particular topic. As a matter of fact, when my children were very small, I'm talking about mid to late 80s or early 90s, we didn't have any book available in the market. There was no YouTube days, no internet. So then I had to buy the books written by the Western people, knowing the fact that it will not be able to do justice to the topic which I am looking for. But maybe being a medical scientist, I thought there will be certain things would be of some help. Now you have got at least a dozen books in the market available, and also on YouTube, the lectures, and everyone is giving these days lectures on this particular topic. And that's the reason I ask myself question as to what has gone on that we are trying to emphasize this particular topic. Remember these 4 points. We are living in the era of digital tools, digital tsunami. Number two, this is the first time in the world this has happened. This digital tsunami was not non-existent before. And the second thing is the peer pressure, which is again has happened for the first time in the world. It has never happened before. And the third is the universality or universality of the good or bad in any community, any religion. Now it has changed. Because what was up till recently universally accepted as bad or evil has now been accepted by the society as acceptable and approved, and there are not too many eyebrows raised about those evils or bad things. So this is again happening for the first time, that those values which were supposedly universal, good or bad, now that have been trampled with. There are issues there now because some part of the society accept those evils or bad things as acceptable somehow. And the Muslims are different. If you take from theological point of view or from the moral point of view, we are the perhaps only people on earth who still talk about moral values which were true yesterday and true today as well. So obviously, this is something new. And the fourth part is the new mobility. Because in the past, people used to be born in a certain areas, thank you, and they used to work and die there. But now, from villages to township, from township to the larger cities, even from one country to another, people are moving around. So this mobility has become very evident. And due to this increased mobility, the routes have been upturned. In the past, what the roots of the people used to be, those roots have been upturned now. They are uprooted now from their place, from their geography, from their township, from the people around, from the relatives which they used to be there in the past. Now they are uprooted. So remember these four things. That's the reason now parenting has become very demanding and a challenging job. Not that it was easy in the past, but in the past, because we used to have extended family, so therefore the uncle and auntie and elders and grandfather and grandmother and other people, even the people living in those streets and neighborhood, they all used to participate and collaborated with each other in rearing and nurturing the child. They use those peeping eyes in the streets and neighborhood, they are no more existent. They are not there anymore. So we are now living in a nuclear family. So those extended family, those neighborhoods where peeping eyes used to keep the person aright, now those are non-existent. So this is another reason that now whole sole responsibility lies on the parents, because they don't have now any blood relatives near, or those neighborhoods or those streets. As a matter of fact, even if the people are there who are living in those streets, now the time and age has changed. If you tell someone that your son or your daughter was not doing great, then the parents will start fighting against. So I think we are in a completely different situation. And that's the reason the parenting and nurturing, now that the sole responsibility of the parents, is up to them how they rear or they raise their children, with what priorities in their life, what goals, what targets. It's up to them now. So that's the reason it has become very difficult. Also, the digital tools, these media, the TV, the films, and the cartoons, and the other things, the way they have now created what is called a monoculture. So therefore, the likes, dislikes, behavior, attitude, heroes, villains, they are almost the same for everyone. There is no demarcation, a Muslim, a non-Muslim, east or west. They almost have got the same heroes, the same villains, the way they think, the way they dress, their hairstyle, their likes, their dislikes. They are almost the same because it is now a monoculture. And our children in the same environment. So therefore, it is very natural for them to be affected by that monoculture and their thinking and their attitude and their behavior. So now the situation has completely changed, because I still see some parents, they say that, look, my father or my mother didn't work hard on me. They did not work hard on parenting and nurturing. This was a non-existent issue. So children, we grew up as a believer, so my children will grow up as a believer. They are in fool's paradise. Their children are going to be atheist, outright, or ex-Muslim, or having doubts and suspicion about their faith, because the family values and the social norms have changed. Those traditional values which used to weigh heavily, now they are not there. And these children are not going to listen to their parents because the parents say so, or because the parents remind the son or daughter that Quran gives this command or Rasulullah Sallallahu advises this. They're not going to listen to all this because they are in a rebellion state. The way they think is completely different. And now that these teenagers, these young children, they have been given subjectivism, individualism, do as you wish, do as you please. You see that now? So you could do whatever you wish. So for a temporary desire to fulfill that lust, one could go ahead and do it. The others are doing it anyway. So what is there to bar us or our children from not entertaining the same uh, lust and desire? And therefore, the way the things have become now, it is very different what compared to in the past. In the past, our parents, in particular father, used to enter through one room or through one door, and the children, we as sons, we used to disappear through the back door, being scared, fearful. That was the parenting style, based on discipline, based on fear, based on commands. No communication whatsoever in the past between the parents and the children. No, there was no communication. Children did not have any right to ask question. They were supposed to just bow their head and listen to. As much they could do, they could have done, but that's all about it. But now, these children, because of individualism, subjectivism, they have that sort of independence and freedom to ask anyone and everyone. They will ask parents, why do you say so? Why I have to submit to your commands? Why I have to accept your values which you are telling me? Why this is important? So the parents who are oblivious of this fact, they are going to be in trouble. when their children grow up, because they are going to face disrespect. And remember, when you are young, you may not feel things as badly. You might take it in a stride if your son or if your daughter, if they are small, you are young yourself. If they say something, you might take it as in a stride. But when you become old, you do not become old only physically, you become old mentally and emotionally and psychologically. Remember that. So, therefore, in old age, the psyche is scarred and completely different, distorted, the way an old man thinks or old woman thinks. And at that time, when these children are going to be disrespectful, think what is going to happen. Nothing but regrets. So, therefore, before that time comes, don't try to put your head under the sand that neither I will see like an ostrich, nor it will happen. It will happen. The sandstorm will come and bury this ostrich. Similarly, a man may discard or may neglect or ignore, but he will have to face it all at the end because he is going to be at the receiving end from his sons and from his daughters. So, therefore, it becomes very important that, in particular, the young sisters or young daughters, they should try to understand what is at stake. Now, peer pressure. This is the first time in the world it is happening. Remember, in the past, take for example, when I was a small, I will go and take the advice from a senior, from elder people, from father, uncle, or anyone that I felt comfortable with. Now, no more. The person, these young children, they will take advice from this person who is of the same age. So 12-year-old from the 12-year-old, 15-year-old from 15-year-old, 20-year-old from 20-year-old. They are taking advice. I mean, you could imagine. So this is the first time it is happening. Never before, as I have highlighted. And they can give good advice or bad advice. As a matter of fact, mostly bad advice. Good advice, how many people you have got, the people who are really born and brought up and reared and raised on Islamic moral code of conduct. So what would you get there? And these young chaps, just to fit in, to feel calm and cool, they will get involved in all the wild deeds and all the bad things, knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes, just to fit in, they will have friendship of those people, not realizing that these people are nasty. They are involved heavily, indulged heavily in wild deeds, in drugs, in alcohol, in promiscuity, and anything else. This chap may not, this young boy may not realize, young girl, but later on she finds out. By the time she finds out or he finds out, it's too late. Now he or she has fallen into the bad crowd. So this is another issue. The third issue is the digital era, which I mentioned. I tell you my own story. As a very young age, I turned to religion, but still I used to see film. My age was 16 or 17, no more, because at age 17 I gave up. I didn't used to see many films anyway, but we had to go to cinema, and you have to be in the queue to buy the ticket and get into the cinema. Now every boy and the girl is carrying in form of a smartphone that cinema in the pocket under the blanket, and they could watch whatever they wish. In my time, even the films were very reasonable, social type. But simply standing up in the queue was derogatory. That people will think that I pray and still I go to the film, so I will not go there. But now there is no guards, no checks, no balances. And therefore, the boy or the girl who are not mature enough, they're carrying these films. Are not films, what can you say? I don't want to say any further. They know it. They're carrying with them. So, although a smartphone has done a wonderful job, Even our religious leadership, they have got a smartphone. They will talk to their wife with their face on that real time of whatever you could call it. They would never realize that this smartphone is creating havoc, is nothing but evil, which is destroying the youth. They're destroying their moral code of conduct, destroying their principles, destroying the boy and the girls, as a matter of fact. So, therefore, again, the situation is completely different. And we should prepare before marriage. You will ask me a question, what? We should prepare before marriage for child? Answer is yes, of course. Why are you getting married anyway? There are quite a few reasons. One of them, the main reason, is to procreate. So the child has a right. Remember this statement? Child has a right. He has not been born yet, but when the child will be born, he had the right that his father and mother should have got married based on religiosity. Can you believe it? The future child has got the right before the marriage, before the child is born. Rasulullah said, a man marries a woman for wealth and for a status, her status, for beauty, and for her religiosity. So marry the woman who is religious. Now you could see a person who, when he marries, uses only the heart and just sort of at the spur of the moment, he or she, they decide they get married. They are fools, because marriage is a lifelong partnership. You have to think before you have got marriage and before you have got a child. When I get married, would there be the same principles of life between me and my wife or between me and my husband? Would we continue our life based on religiosity, religious principles, based on moral code of conduct? Would Prophet be our role model in our life? So a person should start before. I had many examples. Many people have come to me and keep on that, Dr. Saab, because they became religious when they have got children, but the wife does not want religiosity. Wife, he prays Qiyamul Lail and he does Salatul Fajr, wife is sleeping nicely in the same house. Now he is asking me, so I asked him, did your parents get you married? He told, no, I got married myself. That, where had you been? Why didn't you realize at that time that if you marry like this, that is what is going to happen? And then what happens? Then the children are pulled apart. Some children on the father side, some children on the mother side. The whole family is broken, man, without husband and wife death. They are already broken family. So therefore, be very careful before marriage that you decide that it is going to be a lifelong partnership, and therefore it's not going to be easy life unless you have selected a partner based on religiosity, based on principles, based on similarity in views and thoughts, similarity in opinion, what your objectives are, what you are going to do with your children, what their targets will be, and then you will have a peaceful, homogeneous life. The child has got a right to fair treatment. Got a right. The boys and the girls. I give you one example. A person came, Sahabi, to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was talking to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In the meantime, his son came. When his son came, he was a small boy. When his son came, he hugged him and then got him sat on his thighs. After a short while, his daughter came. So he did not hug her and he asked her to sit beside. Rasulullah Sallallahu, you could imagine, subhanallah, as many durood we could send on him. How sensitive he was that he asked that person, were you fair with your daughter? You hugged your son, got him seated on your thigh, and when your daughter came, you asked her to sit in front. So fair treatment, that's enough between the boys and the girls. Similarly, they have got right to empowerment. These are new words. Remember this statement. You will not find in any book 50 years ago. Because with the time, the vocabulary changed, the words change. Where would you find me? The whatever powers had got at a stake, stakeholders, empowerment, they are completely new vocabulary, new words. But it tells a lot when we are talking about 21st century, empowerment of child, isn't it? Look at Rasulullah Sallallahu, empowerment of child. But we do not know because we don't read the biography of Rasulullah Sallallahu. Rasulullah Sallallahu is sitting. By his right side is Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu, 10-year-old boy. His uncle Abbas radiallahu anhu's son. Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu, well-known Mufassir Quran, the first Mufassir Quran. The Kubar Sahaba, the great Sahaba, they are all sitting after him or in front of Rasulullah Sallallahu or on the left. While they were there, a bowl of milk came as a gift. Now, Rasulullah Sallallahu, remember, who would he give first? To Kubar Sahaba, big Sahaba, big companions who have sacrificed their lives for Rasulullah Sallallahu. But because Abbas Razallahu anhu is sitting on the right, he has to, in Islam always he has to start asking from the right side. Bowl of milk has to be given to the person sitting on the right side. Lo and behold, Abdullah ibn Abbas Razallahu anhu is there. Who takes the permission? Rasulullah Sallallahu, the last prophet, the greatest prophet ever. No prophet to come till the doomsday. He takes the permission of a 10-year-old child that can I give this bowl of milk to others, because that's what he wanted to give to the Kubar Sahaba. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, no, I would not let go this barakah to anyone else. I will take it. He took the bowl of milk, drank, and then after gave back to Rasulullah. Where would you find empowerment of child? But we need to. We don't, but we need to. We need to learn from our faith. Now, also for the children, you always, what I used to do, so I'm telling you my practical experience. During the summer vacation, at least 2 months off. So what I used to do is, I used to make a syllabus for 2 months, used to collect books and give it to the children. That during these 2 months, according to their age and level, you have to read these books, biography of Rasulullah Sallallahu, you have to read this much Quran, you have to memorize this much, this, that, and the other. So similarly, this is a good example of time management. These kids, 2 months holiday, they're up, down, running around, here, there, holiday, pleasure, and the rest of it. Of course, they need pleasure time. They need fun time. But that has to be checked, guarded, limited. The reason is, a believer is a person who is short of time always. Remember this statement. Because he's so short of time that Umar Farooq in his time, when the time used to travel like an ant, not fast life like today, that you go to the mosque and you have to catch a train, catch a plane, you have to catch a bus, you have to go to the hospital at a fixed time. The time was not like this fast before. At the time of Umar Farooq, he used to pray, oh Allah, give barakah in my time. But how do we waste our time? So therefore, these children, yes, they have got fun time, pleasure time, play time, but that has to be limited, because our children are not going to be mediocre. Muslim Ummah is not supposed to be mediocre. Man amala ahadam minkum yutqinhu. Rasulullah said, the one, whoever works among you, he takes to par excellence. He does it with perfection. Whatever he does with perfection. If a Muslim student, he does a study, he does it perfection. He takes it to the par excellence. He shows his sincerity and seriousness towards his studies. A believer, a Muslim student, when he shows his character, he shows it to the best. He becomes the role model. Why? Because he is following his parents who are supposed to be role model, whether they are or they are not. and his parents are taking Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as a role model. Innaka la ala khulqin azim. You are on the highest pedestal of akhlaq. And what the akhlaq means, not only just simply when meeting each other and saying salam and this, that, and the other. Akhlaq involves the whole life. So therefore, we have to learn these things and try to acquire. We have to prepare. Look, if I go for exam, I do preparations. Number one, I have to be the best. That's how I have taught my sons. You have to be the best. You are second to none. You have to be the topper in the class. Whether they call you nerd or something else, I don't care. You have to have the highest grades. Why? Because they will get admitted to the better college, better institution, better university, and so on. So it is better for him. I will come back to education later on. So you could see how the parenting is so demanding. Similarly, the family should give high value to education. They should be united. There should be a leader in the family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already fixed. Ar-rajalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. The men are the managers. Men are the in charge over the woman under bracket and children. So therefore, the whole responsibility would be on the man, except the nurturing and parenting of the children, remember. Because their food, their shelter, their clothes, this, that, and the other is the father's responsibility to earn the livelihood. Because he is involved in public life, outside home. But inside home, it is the woman, it is her responsibility to make sure that the children get what they are supposed to get. In other words, they get the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They read Quran. At least few surah which they pray, they should at least understand its meaning. They should read biography of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They should know what Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was like, how did he lead his life, how did he used to sit, walk, talk, how did he relate to the people, to the neighbor, to the wives, and to his blood relatives, to the friends, and to the foes. These children, according to their level of understanding, we have to tell them. I give you an example. You might say, oh, you're talking two big things. Let me explain to you. I have got 3-year, 4-year grandsons. I teach them at the bedtime story. So Ibrahim al-Islam was thrown in the fire. And Nuh al-Islam Qawm was drowned in the tufan, in the flood. Okay. And Yunus al-Islam was swallowed up by the fish, whale or whatever you call it. So after a while I will ask, Yunus al-Islam, yes, he was swallowed up by the whale. And Ibrahim al-Islam, he was thrown in the fire. Because he's 3-year-old, what else could he understand? But every year it is add-on series. So whenever my grandchildren, they get together, they will have fun running around and making noise, eating and whatever. But then there will be few minutes that I will take them and I will talk to them. So therefore, according to their level, their understanding, you should start from very early age. Even age 3, age 4 is no bar. But according to their level, so you only talk about Ibrahim Islam one thing. Or at least memorize name of 10 prophets. So it is there in the home, it must be conducive. The homogeneous views among the husband and wife. They should not have a yelling and shouting match. If the children see the discrepancy between the husband and the wife, they will take sides of mother or father. You have got a nice split family. They will try to do something and they will try to play one against the other. One has got another view, another has got another view. So where you have got that homogeneity of views in the family, that peaceful, conducive atmosphere in the family. Similarly, the mother must make sure that she is very strict about the daily routine. I give you an example. I have got a woman, children come from school, she has got only one agenda. Today I have to go to Khala, I have to go to Nani, I have to go to Auntie, I have to go to Uncle, I have to go to Poopa, I have to go to supermarket. So every day the same story. So these children are leading a vagabond life. They come from school, they eat, then they are in the car. And weekend for fun for the children, therefore they will taken for fun ride, hair exhibition, fair, this, that, and the other. So when they will study? This is a family, the children are not going to study. They're not going to do well. They are mediocres, even below mediocres. So the family has to be very clear about the priorities in life. They have to keep themselves maintaining a daily shift, daily routine for their children, that they come from school, they have their snack, they play for a while, and then after that, they must sit down and study. And the education is valued in the family. Anyone who is just little bit lagging behind will not be accepted. And education means Islamic and or religious and modern education. You know, it is unfortunate. Go on these days, our Professor Google, we have. Find it out. When this education was split into religious education and modern education, it was the same split just like the church and the state. And the Muslims have taken it. This is Islamic education, religious education, and this is modern education. And modern education means this is materialistic and for this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this world is nothing for a man, just like a traveler, so therefore of no importance. Where does that come from? Education is education. And if this is true as our religious leadership has taught us, then tell me, why do you take pride of Ibn Sina, Ibn Hazm, Muhammad bin Musa al-Khawarizm, and Al-Hazan, under bracket Al-Hasan? Why do you take pride that algebra, zero, geometry, trigonometry, and the astronomy, the chemistry, and all this, and the medicine, they were all developed by Muslims? Why do you take pride then, if it is all materialistic world? This is not. This is not. Let me tell you here what happens. Rasulullah subhanallah, how much far-sighted he was. He was passing by in Medina and he saw the Sahaba cross-pollinating the dates while they were on the tree, up top of the tree. Rasulullah passed by and then he asked, what are they doing? Sahaba said, we are cross-pollinating dates, Ya Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, whether you cross-pollinate or you don't cross-pollinate, the yield will be the same, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done, fixed. And that's it. So Sahaba did not do any further cross-pollination. Now that year, the date yield was very little. खजूर आया ही नहीं, दरख्त उसकी पैदावार बहुत कम थी. So Sahaba went and complained to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, the date yield is very less this year compared to the last year or the year before. So the Rasulullah said, why? So he says, because you stopped us doing cross-pollination, telling us that yield will be the same anyway, you whether cross-pollinate or don't. Rasulullah, what did he say? He said, you people know your worldly affairs better. Get on with it. I have not been sent for this. I have been sent to lead you on the divine path. That's my job. Did you understand it? This example, doesn't it satisfy you? No? I give another example. Battle of Badr. The prisoners of war, the captives. What did Rasulullah do? He asked that you teach writing and reading 10 people and then you are free. Those, at that time, the ransom, the money was so important because Muslims were in bad shape. Badr, we are talking about. Battle of Badr, second Hijri only in Medina. There was no money. Very hungry. Very deprived. But Rasulullah told, who did he tell? Infidels, non-believers. What did he tell? Teach writing and reading 10 people and go free. And from others, he took their ransom, who did not know how to teach or write. Can you believe the farsightedness of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Let me ask you one more question. Have you ever thought that those infidels and non-believers, when they're teaching Islamic fiqh or Quran to the Muslims, when they were captives, they were teaching, of course, not these things. They were teaching just how to read, how to write. That's all. But teaching, reading, writing at that time, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made them free when there was dearth of scarcity of the grain, of cereals, of food. So he understood its importance of education. But education at that time, remember, was not intertwined to every aspect of life. Now, the education is intertwined to every aspect of life. If you're not educated, you don't have money. You don't have civic sense. You cannot live in a way not being exploited. If you're not educated, you will be exploited. Educated person will exploit you. This is a weakness. And if the whole qawm is not in shape, education from education point of view, then the other qawm who are mighty, they will exploit you. They will take the oil resources from under your ground. They will take the mines from under your earth. In your country, they will take most of it. What do you think? Where does this come from, by the way? Quran says, look at this. أعدوا لهم ما استطعتم من قوة ومن رباط الخيل ترهبون به عدو الله وعدوكم وآخرين من دونه لا تعلمونهم الله يعلمهم. Prepare with the best of your capability, best of your capacity to acquire power and might and fast-running steed, fast-running horses. Why? To scare your enemies and enemies of Allah and the others. You do not know them. Allah knows them. Allah knows them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling what? To acquire power and might and fast-running steed. What is fast-running horses today? You have to just imagine in your head. But what is quwwah? Today, education is quwwah. Education is power. At the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, bravery, courage, chivalry, these were the things, archery, these were the things that decided the fate of the qawm, of the people. Now, because the reason is a person who was covered, he cannot see the limbs broken, the hands cut off, the neck cut off, bleeding on the ground, the nasty battlefield scene. The covered cannot see, cannot tolerate it. But now the most covered person on earth sitting in a room, he's playing with the computer, one click, and the whole township somewhere else completely burnt, evaporated in thin air. That town does not exist. He is the most covered person. But he is not seeing that horrible scene. So today, education is power. Otherwise, you will remain exploited. The qawm will remain exploited. Individually, if a person is not educated, the educated person will exploit him. Educated qawm will exploit the uneducated or illiterate qawm on the whole. Being few doctors here, engineers here, there, being some professional doesn't mean our qawm is educated. You see yourself in any country. In 100 universities name, you do not have any name of Muslim university from any Muslim country. Look at on research and development, how much the others are spending, what the Muslim countries are spending on. Just to show someone inferior, for their ana, for their ego, they are fighting among themselves, bad shape. Because it is not the roads, not the buildings which decide the future of the qawm. Remember that. And worse to come. So therefore, we should try to make sure that our children grow up ingrained in their head Islamic education. That is a must and first, and modern education as well. This is a tool, this is a power, this is an instrument. But the Islamic education, first things first, is a must. If you did not make the children understand that they have got their identity, they belong to a faith which tells us that we must obey the commands of Allah and the Prophet. We must have those values in our family and as an individual in ourselves. We must have those qualities like honesty, trustworthiness, tolerance, forbearance, forgiveness, and selflessness, and many others. These are the code of moral conduct which we must have. But this should be inculcated from the very young age. Not the topi chahaya sar par aur namaz padhe ke liye masjid. What is that? I mean, you have not built that character through which the whole world became, or part of it became Muslim, by your character, not because having a cap on the head or because of praying, maybe few, but the main reason was your sense of justice to the others. You're strict by tongue. Whatever you said, you will do it. If you promise, you will fulfill the promise. If trust has been given to you, you will prove yourself to be trustworthy. And now, few words about the mother and the woman in particular. Remember this: these children are under your trustship. In other words, they are trust to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask about this trust. What did you do to them? Did you make them recognize Allah and His Prophet? Did you inculcate in them the ta'aleem and the tarbiyah which Rasulullah Sallallahu and Quran wants to inculcate among a Muslim child, so that when he grows up, because it has become the habit, and remember this statement: habit decides the personality. So we have inculcated those qualities, those akhlaq, those moral values from the very early childhood, absolutely against lying and speaking the truth and being honest. Then obviously the whole personality will be different. And in adulthood, you will have a person who could be relied upon. Now you will ask me, so you said all this, what is the objective of parenting, Dr. Saab? The objective, remember this statement: the objective of parenting is to nurture the child and develop and progress this child into a confident adult, a good Muslim, an ambassador of Islam, who is imbibed with the character and the moral code of conduct. Now about the woman, few words, because it's exclusively for the woman. Now, the mothers are the pivot for parenting or nurturing. It is their main responsibility. Why? Because they keep the baby 9 months in their wombs. When they are born, the way she sacrifices her rest, her comfort for the child. She has got a sleepless night. In the morning, she has got red eyes, blown up eyes. She's tired, exhausted, fatigued. Still, she has to look after the other children in home and her husband. So she is going to be fully recompensed and repaid. Remember, mother, if she wishes to mold her children, there is no other person on earth better than the mother who could mold a person in a certain form, mold his child into a certain sort of a form. For example, the woman is like a sort of a stone cutter, a sculptor. Because if you give me a piece of rock or a stone, I won't be able to do anything. But a sculptor, he will make a beautiful statue out of it, as if it is alive. Similarly, a woman could be a Noah Ark. Whoever was on the Noah's Ark was protected and saved. Similarly, from this external adverse wild effects, wild deeds, the woman, the mother, could save her child, where the child could come home and go inside or besides the mother dupatta, and then the child could have protection, sense of security. If the mother wants, she could make the house Jannah, paradise. Even if a husband had been unreasonable, he still accept at that time for the sake of children. Because if you have got a shouting or yelling match in the home, remember your children are going to do and repeat the same thing to their children, because that is what they have seen. If you want to make your point emphasized and accepted by others, you have to have shouting match. You have to tell loudly, rudely, whatever it is. So therefore, we have to. And Rasulullah Sallallahu, this rudeness and this, that, and the other comes now. Softer spokenness comes now. But look at that. Quran says, "Linta lahum, fabima rahmatin min Allah, linta lahum." O Prophet, because of the mercy of Allah, you are very soft spoken. You see that now? So therefore, we should make sure that in our family life, we have got peaceful, homogeneous life, conducive for the proper growth of the child to his or her full potential, and to transform in the adulthood as a confident ambassador of Islam, and not dependent on anyone, not a burden on the family, not a burden on the society, but he could be in a position to give others, to help others, rather than becoming a burden in the society. So therefore, being a Muslim child, he has to grow up as the best person on earth, from moral point of view and from materialistic or education point of view as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. If you have got any questions, you could ask me.
Subhanallah, Jazakallah khair, Doctor. I think you were sharing so many beautiful advice and gems with everyone. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I can see in the comments everyone really appreciates everything. One question I've got for you, Dr. Akhtar. What would you say is the best way to instill the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the young children?
I think it's a very important question. I think the best one could do is to develop very strong bonds and loving relationship with the children. Because what happens is the father and mother are hero and heroine in the eyes of their children, whether boys or girls. So therefore, if the parents have got a very strong bonds and a loving relationship with the children, whatever the parents say, it will make sense to them, because they have seen with their eyes how the parents are so loving, so soft spoken, so kind, so merciful. Then obviously, if the parents say that you should love Allah because He has created us, as I show my love to Allah by not only obligatory prayers, but I also do some weird wazifa, nafil askar. I remember Allah, I get up early in the night, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Himself, He want to love me, then love the ways of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you want to love Allah and His Messenger, then love His servants, the other people. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of resurrection will ask a person, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, you didn't give me drink. I was not feeling well. And the person will keep, Ya Allah, you can't be hungry, you can't be thirsty, you can't be ill. And then Allah Ta'ala will say, this is Hadith Qudsi, by the way. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say that that servant was hungry. You ate to your fill, but you did not help him, did you? And that servant was thirsty, didn't give him water, did you? And that servant was sick, you did not visit him, did you? Did not help him. So therefore, these are the ways that reflect the love of Allah. But these children must see themselves practical demonstration from the parents.
Jazakallah khair. And the next question that we have is, how do you avoid getting angry at your children? And the follow-up to that is, what's the best way to help a child to self-regulate their own emotions?
Yes. I think emotional intelligence, this is again a new vocabulary. It was non-existent a few years ago, and it is gaining grounds. Let me explain to you. Quran says, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ النَّاسِ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Let me tell you a story you will never forget in your life. Zainul Abidin Rahmatullah alayhi, the son of Hussain Raziyallahu anhu, great grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the one who was not martyred in Karbala because he was ill and he was very small. So later on, One day he was doing wudu, and the slave girl was pouring the water on him to do wudu. So it just so happened that the ball of water fell on him. So his clothes became wet and he has to go to the mosque. He didn't have 10 pairs of clothes like us. So perhaps that was the only cloth. So his face became red and angry. The slave girl knew she is in trouble. So therefore, she only said, Wal Kazimin al Ghaiz. Believers are those who restrain and control their anger. Zanul Abidin Rahmatullah face, which was red, it became no more red now, but still, face was not quite normal. Still, anger was there, but no more that intense redness of the face due to extreme anger. Now, the look what the slave girl does. She didn't read this ayah just like I read. She's only tell Wal Kazimin al Ghaiz. Believers are those who control their anger. Now, she says, Walafin and Nas. Believers are those who forgive the people. So Zanul Abdin Ramtullah said, okay, I forgive you. Look at this slave girl. She's obviously much, much better than, much higher level than me. She says, Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. And Allah loves those who do ihsan. So Zanul Abdin Ramtullah said, go on, I set you free. So what I mean is, and this is not in one place, Quran, quite a few places, Quran says, وَإِذَا غَضِبُوا. And when they become angry, so what do? They forgive. So therefore, first, you have to develop that calm nerve, cool attitude. Emotional intelligence, you have to have a full control over it. It is not easy. But the best approach is shut up. Shut in your shell. Just keep quiet. Because Rasulullah said there are three, one narration 3 and another narration 4 qualities of a hypocrite. One of them is when he is angry, he started abusive word, foul language, foul words. So therefore, we should know it that a believer is supposed to be control his anger. Rasulullah was insulted, humiliated, accused, called names, but he never showed his anger for his personal reason. He is our role model. So we have to develop that. And we know that the people who are poor emotional intelligence, the people who have poor emotional intelligence, they don't develop much. They don't progress much. No one likes them actually. So therefore, for our own sake, and for the sake of Allah to get reward, we should just simply try to keep quiet and accept it. If he can't, he should disappear from that place. And at that time, and if he can, he could lay down if he's standing or sit down. Or if not, he should go and do wudu. But as a matter of fact, the main thing really is we should develop that attitude, emotional intelligence that we will control. Remember our Aslaf predecessors. Umar bin Abdul Aziz never used to pass punishment on anyone, even criminal, at this straight away. He used to give him time because he used to think that if I give punishment in anger, I might overdo it. So that is one aspect. The second is for the children, you have to understand they are children. They're not adults. Then they are not, our children are not devils. They are not shaitan. They are not monster. Remember that statement. We start behaving as if they are at par with us. Why did he say this? Why did he do that? What do you mean by why did he say it or why did he do that? They are children. They don't understand the implications, the consequences. So therefore, you are the one who is adult, who is mature in thinking. So therefore, try to keep calm. And when your anger dies down, then you talk to the children. This is not the way to behave. What you have done, it is against you, the moral code of conduct. It is against our faith. It is against our belief and the rest of it. So therefore, we have to be very careful when we treat our children. Otherwise, look, if you do tit for tat, these children are not going to ask you any question anymore. They know that if I ask some question, my mother will shout at me, my father will shout at me, I will be mocked at, people will laugh at me. Or forget about it, I'm going to my peer colleague and I will ask him the advice. And he's finished, destroyed. Because his peer colleague is not going, what he's going to tell, except few exceptions. And sorry, when the children do anything otherwise or bad, you must ask yourself question, where have the things gone wrong? Where you are at fault?
Mm.
Because you are the shepherd or shepherdess. There must be something lacking in your part of training and tarbiyah of the children, that the children, the way they are behaving. Okay.
Mm. Thank you so much. I think we'll take one more question before we wrap up here, inshallah. The final question is, how do we navigate siblings who have rivalry between themselves? Sometimes the older child feels a level of jealousy or anger because the younger child is getting more attention.
Yes, I think you are right. I think it's just question of trying to find the position in the family. Siblings rivalry is not uncommon. Um, However, they die down. They do not remain permanent. Remember, so that is a good thing. That is a spontaneously it disappears. But when they are children, there is a rivalry. But you have to try being a parent. The parents, in particular, the mother has got a more important role. Mother could pacify the situation between the two. Make sure that you give respect to both. For example, if you're trying to say one brother, one sister has done good, so you try, they deserve some praise. But on the other hand, also at the same time, praise the other one if she's there or he's there, the other brother or sister, so that she does not feel hurt. She does not feel that her dignity is injured. You know, these sort of things are new concepts, that the children have got dignity, they have got honor, they have got respect, they need to be empowered. But we have not done justice. So those are primitive society when we were growing up. But now you have to remember, these children of today are very sensitive. So you have to keep that sensitivity in mind. You have to make sure that you do not hurt their dignity, their honor, or their respect. They do deserve respect. Remember, Rasulullah SAW used to give respect to the children. He didn't used to shout. Never shouted. Never. I mean, can you imagine? Never. Anas radiallahu anhu was with Rasulullah SAW age 10 to 20. He himself says, many times I did not do the things which Rasulullah said me to do. Child, he went outside, he started playing. I do not have time to go into detail of that incident. He started playing with other kids. He was a small kid. Rasulullah, he realized he had told him to do something. He went out, he saw Anas radiallahu anhu playing with other kids. He has smiled and he went away. He did himself. So therefore, you have to make sure that you give respect to the children. Even small children, they need to be given respect. They are individuals. So they may not have that maturity level which we have, but we have to show respect. Otherwise, it will be full circle, remember. In your old age, they are going to remember how they have been treated, and they are going to repeat the same thing. I'll give you one example. I hope I might have crossed the time. It will help you. One of my colleague from my country, he used to give £5 because he had become teenager. He wanted money, so I said, "Okay, go and clean my car. £5. Go and mow the rear garden. £10. He will give because he needs a pocket money. He is a little bit grown up." When I came to know, I was shocked. I told, well, went and told him. I told, when you become old, what he's going to do, your son? He's going to tell, okay, do my babysitting, my children, do the babysitting, and I'm going out. What is this? Inculcating this materialistic view in the name that these children could understand the value of money, how difficult it is to earn. What's going on here now? But do you understand what is going to happen at the end when you are old? Right? Are you still there?
Yes, yes, Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Would you like to take one more question or should we wrap up here?
No, I'm all for it. No problems.
Yeah, I think we've had this question come up quite a few times. So we'll wrap with this final question. How to make children pray regularly?
You will be surprised what my answer is going to be. I quoted in book, actually. I can't perhaps name him. He is one of the great scholar at the time. He is going through trial and tribulations. I can't say anything more than that. For a long time, it had been going on for many years. He was asked this question, big scholar. He was asked this question: how can I make my children pray? So he said, make sure you develop a strong bonds with your sons or daughters, with the children. When I read it, believe me, I read it a few years ago. I was shocked. What sort of answer is this? But gradually I realized that if parents have got a strong bonds and a loving relationship between parents and children, believe me, you could get anything done. You could get anything done from them. I don't mean bad, but good things done, because you such a strong bond between the parents, between the mother and the children. So if you have got that, if they say you are praying, you are very particular about your timing of the prayers, they would start praying. Number one. Number two, you know, you have to start making the children pray from the age of 3, 4. They should be at your prayer mat. When you're praying at home, make sure that your child prays. You'll pray, or do ruku, then go away, one sizda, no sizda, whatever. But today, that situation, gradually she would know how that this is important to my dada dadi, nana nani, to my mother father. She or he will start praying. And from early childhood, if they have started praying, the likelihood, despite the extraneous and external bad factors, evil factors, still there is a chance that your son or your daughter will keep on praying. If they say that my father is very particular about it, my mother is very particular about it, they have been given that habit, created that habit from very early childhood, the other brother, other sister prays, the likelihood is a lucky family. This will not be an issue, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair, Dr. Javed Akhter, for being with us for over an hour, and all of our students for being with us over here. Thank you to every single person for coming and attending and taking part. It's been a real... Doctor, did you want to say something?
You wanted me?
Sorry, I thought you wanted to say something. I thought your mouth was moving.
No. But I must tell at the end, because I hear that these are women, sisters and daughters, that
Yes.
it is difficult. It's a very demanding job, but believe me, like we are insincere to our faith, we are not sincere to our ummah, we are not sincere to our community, we are not sincere in raising our children as well. We are not serious type of people. Whereas a believer is supposed to be serious type, sincere type, very particular about the time management, does not let it waste, it always asks question, takes accountability. What I am doing here now? What did I get? What did I gain? What did I achieve? So all the time taking accountability of ourselves and of our children, keeping a critical eye. Unless we are show our sincerity, your children are going to be doctors and engineers, but they're going to be atheists, nose billah. They're going to have doubts and suspicion in their mind. And Quran, one ayah, I did not read, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَزْهَقَ أَنفُسُهُمْ, तुम्हारी जान निकल जाएगी. They will kill you. This mal and aulad, these are fitna for you, and they are the ones Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to punish with this mal and these children to you. He will punish through them. How they will punish? Children will go astray. So therefore, we should be very serious. We should always pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because without prayer, nothing is going to work. Prayer first, prayer last, in between. Our job is to do the job, but we should show sincerity. And these are young women. I will highlight this issue. How we're insincere. All of us, we said we believe in book. Yes or no? Believe in Quran. All of us. I also said I believe in Quran. Okay. Now let us take parallel to it. I say I believe in Dalton's atomic theory. I believe in Dalton's atomic theory. You ask me a question. What is Dalton's atomic theory, doctor? What? What is Dalton's atomic theory? Well, you would immediately say he's a liar. How can he believe? He doesn't know what is Dalton's atomic theory. Similarly, we say we believe in book. What is in the book? What? What is in the book? I've got no clue. So how can you believe in? Can you see the problem here? Therefore, we have to read, and in particular the woman, not only my book, you've got enough book. Go and read as many books, as many articles. This book is 3 years research. Every book in the market is with me because I keep on reading. I was unfortunate. I didn't have when my children were small. Believe me, I have apologized to them. I've asked for their forgiveness. Many things which I have written in the book, I didn't do myself because I was not aware of those things that I should do. So you people are lucky. Things are there. Go and make preparation. We prepare for our exam. These are our children. They are under our trusteeship. They are going to have either good legacy for us on this earth, or they are going to take us to hell, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask question, what did you do with this trustee that have made you trustee on this earth? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us, give you the full reward for your spending time. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khair. For those that are asking what's the name of the book, it is in the chat box, so you can check it out, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Emma, for joining us. And Dr. Javed Akhter, Allah grant you shifa and allow us to raise our children upon the guidance of the Quran and Sunnah. Just a reminder for all of our students still with us, make sure you are following us on Instagram, on Facebook, and you are in the WhatsApp channel, and also following us and subscribing to us on YouTube. The recording for the session will be available on YouTube. Make sure you engage with the material, like, comment, subscribe, so that we can benefit as many people as we can, inshallah, by the mercy of Allah, and through your du'as, through your support. And make sure you follow us on WhatsApp and Instagram for regular polls, quizzes, updates, and reminders. Once again, Jazakallah khair for attending. Keep up to date with our work, and we look forward to seeing you all at the next course. There will be regular webinars taking place, so stay up to date. And until then, take care. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. We'll see you guys soon, inshallah. Once again, Jazakallah khair, Dr. Javed Akhtar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.